Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, a homestead in the desert, May 16th, 2019. We're up here by the water tank, and you can see my blue barrels here, and I put the manifold around. And the reason I'm starting up here is because I've been hampered for a few days with winds. I mean, right now they're 20 to 25 miles an hour, and I got my back to it while I'm talking to you here, and I have to actually hold my earbuds in my ears or the wind will blow them right out. So anyway, you can see the manifold comes all the way around here, and we're going to come around to this other side. And here's where I'm going to do my tie-in. And this is the shut-off to close the barrels off, separate them from the main water tank. And that'd be the water tank shut off over there. Now I was going to come in and go over here and add another T in and bring everything out, but by the time I figured out the size of the T's and everything I need, it would put this filter outside of this enclosure area, and I want to close that in, and that's what I've got this siding over here for, is I'm going to be closing all of this in and insulating it so I don't have to wrap it every year. I'll have an enclosed area which I can keep warm just from the radiant heat coming off that tank full of water. And so anyway, that's where I'm standing right now. So I did get my stop in, and I got my my drain in here, and this is a high flow drain. When you open this up, it actually has a 3/4 inch opening in it, and it's same size as the opening on this bib where I can put my finger inside. And it's a keyed unit, so I don't have to worry about somebody just coming over and turning it on. And I do have a camera pointing right at all of this, so it's all protected. But just, you know, a little extra never hurts, right? So anyway, everything is all glued into place, and I did flood the end barrel there. I put about 15 to 20 gallons in there. And it just kind of came all the way around, and I opened this up and I drained it out. You can see the ground's all wet here from where I was draining out the old water from the tanks and making sure they're all clean and no sediment still in the bottom of them. So what I'm going to end up doing here, and this is not glued, this is just sitting in place, but what I'm going to do is when I come out of this to this point, is I'm going to make a connection to go into the 1-inch flex here, so that it actually goes below the flex. It makes a connection below the flex. And what that's going to do for me is I've got to keep a flex connection in between hard connections, so that one connection being a flex will work two purposes. Now right here I'm going to add another 1-inch inlet outlet sediment filter just for the barrels themselves, so the water can flow through there. But I've got to make sure that the water can actually flow backwards through it, because when they fill the tank, the water is going to actually go through here and fill these tanks, and then it's going to come back out the other way. And I don't think I can do that unless I put a bypass in here where I can just open two valves and let it bypass, or close two valves and let it bypass and go around. And that's what I might end up having to do. So that's where I stopped right here. And I still got, probably 975 so gallons left in the tank here. So it's getting down to time where I'll be ordering water. All right. So we're going to move on down the line here, and I wanted to mention that yesterday I was talking to my friend Vince on the phone, and I looked at my security camera monitor, and I saw a couple of bunny tails, little white-tailed bunnies, or cottontail bunnies. They came from over in this direction, and they went around the cabin. They were on my porch, and they were eating some of the grass by the barrels there. Interesting. I've seen jackrabbits around here before, but the cottontails are a new addition to the ranch here. All right, I'm getting down to the garden house, and I wanted to show you something in here. We're talking about critters, and my design for the garden house to keep critters out of here is, so far, effective. Because as we come down the run here, by the way, besides wind, we were supposed to get rain today, and no rain, just wind. All right, so I come around here, and look, something came in and tunneled underneath here, under the wire right there, and they came up right there through a hole, and they tried tunneling under the wire looking for a way to get in here, but having a complete wire floor, it deterred them. They can't get in. So that's a good thing. So I'm going to go around the outside here and make sure that places like this that's got a little loose wire, I'm going to tack strips across there and make sure it's anchored down real well so they don't find any ways in here, because they are trying. And I wouldn't doubt it that they've come up under my garden already, but again, all this wire runs under the garden too, so they can't get into there. But there are a couple of places like this where the wire's a little loose, and I'll have to tighten that up. Anyway, look at the tomato plant now. This is still growing up, going like crazy, and setting some tomatoes. Got a bunch down in the bottom, some in the middle now. So my mouth is watering waiting for those. And I got this one big white onion here ready to harvest, but I still have a couple onions inside that I'm going to eat before I go to that. Of course, my radishes here have all gone to seed, and that's what I'm waiting for, is for the seed pods to dry so I can take some of those off, and I'll have seeds to plant again without having to buy any from now on. And you can see there's actually some fresh ones coming up down here. So my second line of crop is trying to get through, but these are in the way. There's a little green one coming up right down there. And the beets are ready to pluck, a few of them. And then these I need to thin out because they're all cramped together. And I will do that when I pull those two beets out of there. And carrots, same thing. It's going to seed, so it's. I've been eating carrots. Last night I made vegetable beef soup, and oh my God, it was so good I had to eat 2 helpings. And I have a helping left in the refrigerator, so that'll be lunch probably tomorrow. And everything else here, the pears are growing up. Some of the smaller pears fell off because the wind and the tree's not strong enough to really bear a lot of fruit yet. But next year, you watch. My apple tree's got a bunch of new branches coming out of it. So that's going to get mature very quickly. You notice the bark is still green. And I want to get that to be brown. Same thing here, when the bark is green. That's still immature, so I want it to brown up a little bit and get stronger. Anyway, that's about all for today. I'm going to head inside and get some rest from this wind. I was chasing buckets around the desert again today, and it's no fun. So anyway, that's it. G-Bear reminding you, give me a thumbs up down there, please. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you had, welcome aboard. You're all welcome aboard. It's free to subscribe. Just click the subscribe button down there, and when a little bell icon pops up, click that to be notified when new videos are posted. And that's only for me. You're not going to get pounded by videos from all over the internet. It's just going to be my videos that you'll be notified. So there's no bother in it. There's no trouble with it. And you could always unsubscribe down the line, but please don't do that. I want to keep you guys all on. G-Bear signing off.